Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Capizzi, and I'm here with a help video for the lesson we did in class today, 6-3, Solve Multi-Step Problems. So let's take a look at the I can statement. I can solve multi-step problems by finding and solving the hidden question first. So we showed the students a strategy today where we took a piece of paper and we broke it into sections where we had the hidden question and what the final question is. And we talked about that the hidden question is what you need to figure out before you can ask the final question. And the final question is really what is the obvious question that's being asked. So let's take a look at the solve and share. We have 3 girls and 4 boys went to an amusement park. The total cost for the group was $189. What was the cost of admission for each person? So that would be my final question. That's the obvious question. So what is the cost of admission for each person? And my hidden question is, they broke the students up into girls and boys. So if there were 3 girls and 4 boys, I need to find out how many total people went to the park. So how many people went to the park? So since there were 3 girls plus 4 boys, that means that 7 people went to the park. And the final question is, what is the cost of admission for each person? Well, I know that they spent $189 total, so my total would go on top of my fact family triangle, and down here I know 7 people went. So I'm going to name my variable in this corner C for cost for each person. So since one of my factors is missing, I can't do 7 times C because I don't know what C is, but I'm going to use the 2 numbers that I know to figure out the number that I don't know. So since I have the top number in one of the corners, I can slide and divide. So I have 189 divided by 7. I cannot do 1 divided by 7, so I'll put an X above there. And now I'm going to divide 18 by 7, which goes in twice. 2 times 7 is 14. 8 minus 4 is 4. And I check that 4 is less than 7, so I can bring down my last digit, 49. This is one of my basic facts. 49 divided by 7 is 7. 7 times 7 is 49, and 49 minus 49 is 0. So I know that the cost of admission, so the cost of admission for each person would be, it's $27 for each person. So that was the solve and share. Now let's take a look at some of the questions that you'll be working on independently today. So here's the independent practice questions, and let's set up a few of them. So here I've got number 3. Martin raked 3 lawns last week and 4 lawns this week and earned $168. He earned the same amount raking each lawn. How much did Martin earn raking each lawn? So I want you to go ahead and pause the video And on your paper, I want you to figure out what the hidden question is and what the final question is. And when you're ready, press play to find the solution. So, my final question is, how much did Martin earn raking each lawn? And my hidden question is, how many lawns did Martin rake? So I know that he did 3 last week plus 4 this week, so that is 7 total lawns. And how much did he earn raking each lawn? So I know that he earned a total of 168, and then over here he raked 7 lawns, so I am going to need to figure out what goes here. So I can call this, I'll just put a $sign there for how much money. So I have the total and how many he did, so I can slide, I'm sorry, how many he raked, I'll slide and divide, and I've got 168 divided by 7. I can't do 1 divided by 7, so now I'll look at 16, and 7 goes into 16 2 times. 2 times 7 is 14. 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 is less than 7, so I can bring down my 8. This is one of my basic facts. 28 divided by 7 is 4, and 4 times 7 is 28. 28 minus 28 is 0. So I know that the money he earns will be $24. So Martin will earn $24 for each lawn. Okay, so that's number 3. We'll go ahead and do a couple more examples. Number 4, there are 24 students in a class. All of the students except 2 went bowling. What is the total cost if each student who went bowling paid $5? So I want you to pause the video and try to solve this on your own, and then when you're ready, press play and check your solution. So the final question will be, what is the total cost? And my hidden question is, how many students went bowling? So I know there's 24 in the class, but all went except for 2. And usually that word except means to subtract. So 24 students minus the 2 that did not go bowling leaves me with 22 students went bowling. So I know that each of those students paid $5 for bowling. So I need to take 22 students times $5. Now I know that since each paid $5, my number is going to have to get bigger. So that's how I know that I would multiply as opposed to divide. That's one way that I can figure that out. 5 times 2 is 10. Drop the 0, regroup the 1. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So the total cost for bowling is $110. So I want you to go ahead and try 5, 6, 7, and 8, and we'll go over them as a class. And if you're doing this at home, you can bring in the problems and I will check them for you when you bring them in. Thanks for listening. Have a great afternoon.